So over on our video that explains why apple cider vinegar is really not right for everybody, it can magnify some imbalances with some individuals. I got a comment from Amber that said apple cider vinegar gave me reflux. And we actually hear this a lot, and we hear the same thing about Betaine HCL. Oh man, I didn't have reflux and I took these and now I have reflux. So it's really important to understand why this can happen, because when this is going on, there are usually malfunctions going on that a person really wants to correct. Let's jump in.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
So if you do want to learn more about people that should not use apple cider vinegar, we'll put a link in the description below for our video on who should not use apple cider vinegar, and you can dig into that a little bit. But it's really not about the reflux. It's not about, oh, that gave me reflux, I shouldn't use apple cider vinegar. That's not really what's going on. When someone that doesn't have any reflux or kind of heartburn type symptoms, and they take something like apple cider vinegar or Betaine HCL capsules that are used to help acidify the stomach, if they do that and then they get reflux, the reality is that they very likely had reflux before, but they didn't have any stomach acid at all, so there was no acid to come back up and burn them. So to understand why this happens, we need to understand why a person gets reflux. A person does not get acid reflux because they have too much stomach acid, like advertisers want us to believe. In most cases, it's about not having enough stomach acid. So there's this valve at the bottom of the esophagus called the lower esophageal sphincter, and that opens so food can come in. But then when the food is acidified in the stomach so that we can break it down and get the nutrients out of that food, without that stomach acid there, you can't break that food down the way that it's supposed to be broken down. So when that food is acidifying in the stomach, that's what triggers that valve at the bottom of the esophagus to close so the acid doesn't come back up and burn us. But if someone just has a small amount of stomach acid, but it's not enough to trigger that valve to close, then the small amount they have is going to come back up and burn them. So it's really common for someone not to be making enough stomach acid for a wide variety of reasons. So when someone's trying apple cider vinegar or Betaine HCL, they're usually doing so because they're having some type of digestive symptom that they heard that this apple cider vinegar could help them improve. So when they're having those symptoms, those are really strong signs that digestion is not working the way that it's supposed to. And one of the most important sides of that digestive function is that stomach acid. So a person will take a little bit of apple cider vinegar or maybe one Betaine HCL capsule, and then they'll really get reflux because now they added acid in there where there wasn't any before, but it's not enough to trigger that valve to close. So this small amount of acid is now coming back up and burning them. And here's the thing, a lot of people can't make stomach acid because they don't have the minerals and nutrients that the body needs to produce that hydrochloric acid. And when that's the case, it's usually because the person doesn't have enough hydrochloric acid to break their food down and get the minerals out of that. So they can kind of get stuck in this broken cycle for a long time. But they could take a little apple cider vinegar or maybe just a Betaine HCL capsule 1 or 2 times, and that acidity helps them break down food enough that the body gets a little bit more nutrients that it needs, and it starts producing a little bit more stomach acid. It can't produce enough yet, but they could take apple cider vinegar once and then have a reflux for like weeks because they're like, oh man, this really gave me reflux. Well, it just helped your body work a little bit better, not better enough to fix the actual problem that was going on, but it helped it work a little bit better. So now the body's starting to produce a little more HCl, but that small amount of HCl is coming back up and burning you. So to correct this problem, a person needs to actually acidify their stomach correctly. So if you want to learn how to do that, we'll put a link in the description below for our totally free digestion course that kind of walks you through figuring out which aspects of digestion are not working right for you and steps that can help you really correct that. But if a person's having reflux from a little bit of apple cider vinegar or a little bit of HCl and they didn't have reflux before, it's very likely that they're not breaking down their food correctly at all. You really want to improve that because an inability to break the food down can lead to nutrient deficiencies and a wide variety of other health issues. If you want to understand this reflux thing a little bit more, you can jump over right now and check out our video on why do I have acid reflux. I hope that helps.